This fool over here.
No, that shit. Yeah. Hey, yo. Hey, we back at it again. Feel me? 7th edition of the Black Journal. Of course, my boy, our actual Black Journal is out of commission today, but we're going to hold down the fort because guess what? We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead and introduce yourself, baby girl. Ladies first, as always, my queen. Explain what you do in the field that you are. Shout out your sorority and your chapter and all that. Go ahead.
Well, my name is Kelsa, and I am a social worker. I am a member of the illustrious Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And I went through Theta Kappa at Jarvis Christian College.
All right, hey, okay. Shout out to the home team at Jarvis Christian College. That's our illustrious alumni school. Or whether we want to say it or not, somewhat is definitely our favorite HBCU. We're just gonna leave it at. We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna leave it at that. We'll just say that we definitely had great times there, and I guess we wouldn't change it for the world type of thing. So
no, I wouldn't.
So now that we got the special guest out the way, the lovely Kelsa, I will introduce myself. I am 1/3 of the Black Journal. My name is Malcolm X. AKA the bald-headed warrior Mandingo himself. And I'm just here to give out these facts, man, and this is what it is. Go ahead, take it away to the bottom of me.
First off, just signifying that we're finna get y'all this smoke real quick. Once again, back. It's your boy Nation Domination, man. Trey Hub, for the ones that don't know that name. We back again. 2/3 of the Black Journal. You know what I'm saying? We know Mr. D, Mr. Damien. The Black Journal is out on some unseeable circumstances. But like we say, we got you, bro. You already know. We're
gonna hold it down.
For the usual. Hoodie gang all day, like we say. You know what I'm saying? Black Journal hoodie.
I need to wear a hoodie to cover this goddamn half a chili bowl on my head, but we're gonna ride it out.
Black Journal hoodies coming soon, man. Be ready for the merch. It's coming very soon. We got that coming out
very soon.
Very soon.
Website coming soon.
Website coming soon. Black Journal and Chaos Kingdom websites coming soon. And also, you know what I'm saying, since my brother didn't say it, I'm going to say it,
Yeah, go ahead. Because you got more of the insight than I do in a sense. You heard me.
Our lovely guest gave us her illustrious sorority from Jarvis Christian College, the JCC, or as we call it, if you know where I'm talking about, the J.
The Janky J.
The Janky J, yes it is. But me and my brother Malcolm X are from the Epsilon Zeta or the EZ chapter because we make it look easy. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated,
I just want to interrupt real quick.
The blue,
I love y'all.
We love y'all too.
I'll show you with
big
that
time.
One. But we about to get into these facts, man. We had to bring a special guest on today because normally it's always 3 males. And sometimes y'all can say y'all can say we're biased because we're males. So this time we brought a lovely female to bring us in and give us perspective from you guys' side, from the strong Black female side. And now you can't say that we're biased because we have a female guest.
And this ain't gonna be the first and last time we do it. This is kind of gonna be a little regular thing, kind of. So we want to put women on the forefront in 2021, especially our Black women, because they do so much for us, and we need to start doing more for them. I feel like that's a true statement to make. And there it goes.
I also want to shout out my alumni chapter, Tyler alumni chapter. They're the greatest of all time.
Okay. Hey, shit. Shout out to them.
Anyway, sorry, I just had to get that out the way.
No, you should know.
What you say?
I said shout out to Theta Mu Sigma, the grad chapter that I need to go on and get back in contact with. That was the grad chapter I was in before, I went dark. for a while, but I'm gonna get back soon. But shout out to that Mute, man. We out here making moves.
So, all right. So now today's and
Agenda.
there's many other things that happened today. Of course, we've had the inauguration. We've officially seen the sworn in of the VP and of the president of our United States, VP Kamala Harris, who is also part of a sorority called Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Shout out to them for getting y'all lady up in there. You know what I'm saying, and whatever. We gonna show them respect. We ain't gonna, you know, do extra for right now. We don't do that.
It's
You know
all
what I'm
At
love.
saying?
all.
It's
If
all
one
love.
win, we all win.
We all win. So shout out to the Divine Nine. That's a W for us. So shout out to us, Pan Hellenic Council and all that. You feel me? So even though, hey, some things can be said than others. So and also shout out to Joe Biden. Thank you. I guess you are since I guess you got the black vote. So what you gonna do for black people type of thing.
Hey, I
We're
think
not gonna
that's
we're not gonna elaborate too much on that, so to speak, because that's not our ultimate topic. But I will say that it doesn't matter who's in there, we still got to do our part as human beings in America. And also this is all aimed towards towards my black and brown people, of course, my black people as well, exclusively. No disrespect to any other race. Sorry, white people. I got nothing against you guys. I'm not saying you guys don't help our cause. Shout out to y'all and all people that's helping our cause. But if you can't relate, then don't hate. Sorry, you feel me? So therefore, it is what it is on that and we'll see what we get out of Joe Biden in this relief bill. We ain't gonna talk too much about that because the real topic is the status of mental health in Black America. You know what I mean? It's been slept on for since we probably been brought over to this country. Um, it's been that deeply rooted in our society since we were born. No matter what we were born into, no matter if you're born in poverty or with a silver spoon in our mouth, so to speak. We grew up in the suburbs or whatever. Um, it seems that no matter where we're at, it seems like it's not enough because when we do the most, we have to do twice as much. You know, we're in that position, Kelsey. You can attest to this. I'm pretty sure you have people in your field that of other races that probably got more looks than you did, and you probably did more than them. I'm not saying that that's true. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that or anything like that, but that's one of the things that I feel like we should talk about in that sense. That
I'm,
ties into the mentality of
mhm.
how the fuck we are, right? So
I,
that means that are we enough because we do twice as more, or do they see that? Hold on, how about this? The better question is, do they think that we're enough because we're black or we do twice as much, or do they think that we're not enough because of that?
my true okay, and the question really is: do we feel like we're enough for ourselves? Do we
Exactly.
value
There we go.
ourselves enough
Facts.
to? Yeah, because
Facts.
it's always like we're a minority, and especially as a black woman, it's like you have to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
Well, subconsciously it's like we work and work, but do we really believe in ourselves? Some can be like, yes, I believe in myself, hands down, can't nobody tell me nothing. But then again, it's like, well, do I really?
True.
And then our white
Mm-hmm.
counterparts, our other counterparts, look at us like, well, do we know enough?
Mm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
they try to tell you
Mm-hmm.
how to do your job even though you are over them, or even
Yeah.
though you're presenting something and you have facts to back it up, but you always gonna get those looking stares like, I wonder if she really knows what she's talking about. I wonder if he really
Yeah.
knows what he's talking about.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Nation. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead,
Elaborate.
Nation,
Go
because
ahead,
No,
Nation.
that
I know you
touched
got
your
to
you
say.
know,
soul.
look, the reason why I'm pointing, and I'm not trying to make anybody laugh, but the reason why I'm pointing is Malcolm. I
What's up?
believe if it wasn't in episode 6, it was in episode 5 when I said,
Mm-hmm.
as a black people, bro, it's always like they're looking at us and trying to see if we are and if we and if we have how we can what we doing. And it's crazy because most of them do this out of fear because they know that if we, when we do put our minds to certain things, we accomplish them.
Right.
So even with the blockages of us starting a black business, bro. We've been trying this for a while, bro. I've been calling long company after long company, no emails back, no phone calls back.
Yeah.
But the moment Billy want to start something, he can go get that loan. He make that one phone call. They go, oh yeah, we got you. His credit
Yeah.
can be
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
His shit can be shot like mine
Straight up.
do. But I bet you he
Straight
get
up,
that
bro.
before I do. That
For real.
that's not equality, bro. How can you attest to saying we're in an equal environment when it's not? It's not an equal
For
environment.
real.
But
We work
we're
twice as hard for less if you want to be 100%. That's
100.
all.
This nigga.
I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, it's proven that when you get loans and when you get cars and when you get houses, like you are charged a higher percentage rate than our counterparts, and that's just
Yeah.
100. I mean, it's real.
Yeah, true.
But some people don't want to step in that actuality, and they're just like, "Oh, well, it's really not like that." We work just as hard as they did, and we're going to be able to do, whatever they can do. Anything you can do, I can do better until you get intimidated.
Exact. Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's always been that type of thing where in society where we do that to ourselves sometimes. It's like we always have to be in competition with somebody. And then the crazy thing about it is we're in competition with ourselves every
Hmm.
time.
That's
And
the
it's
problem.
like, and that's a real issue. It's like, how do you see your brother and sister in the same field that you're trying to succeed in? You don't think that person is, I mean, look, and I guess it's the devil, and me playing devil's advocate in a sense. Yes, it is true that we have agents in our own society. Let's just be honest. Um, there's nothing that I can really say or do to change that uh, standpoint on anything, but I know that it's something that we can do as a society, knowing that how we are, knowing us three, we can be that change, that catalyst, that you know,
Hmm.
that would make things better. But it's just like, are people going to see it that way, or are people still want to be divisive? You know what
It's
I'm
not
saying?
enough. It's not enough.
Sometimes it might not be enough because it's always going to be people that are going to be divisive, no matter what. That's
It's
the
not
whole
enough
thing.
at all. Like it gets to a point now, bro, to where even if we do try to rally the troops, so to speak, how many of
Hmm.
the troops are gonna rally to that cause?
Yep.
Or how
That's
many are gonna be comfortable with what we're dealing with because this is what they know. You gotta understand something, bro. The unknown is the most scariest thing a person can deal with.
Absolutely.
hmm
You will not, and I can say this on myself, just waiting and praying on something to go right is the scariest thing ever, but it's the most rewarding when you wait for it. And it
Hmm.
might be the patience might be the one thing that black people do not have. We do not have patience. I don't care
Yeah.
how many black people say we do. We do not. I feel like we're born, and I don't like saying this, but I feel like we're born without patience. It's like it's embedded into our DNA to be impatient for something that we truthfully deserve.
Where do you feel is okay when you say patience? Do you mean patience in a specific area, or do you mean
Yeah, I'm
patience
not, I'm
as
not.
far as all the way around?
It depends.
That is a good question, though.
It is a good question, and to me, it depends because you have black people that can be patient, but you have those black people that, in a sense, either one of those situations, they're not. Like me, I can go on and put it on a limb and say I'm not patient at all.
But
I
you,
like no, like what I'm saying is even in the moment, whether it's in the moment or overall, just being patient on whatever it is. It don't matter what the subject is, what the statement is, what the situation is. If I feel like something's coming to me, it's like no matter what it is, even if it's a blip, like you know how you just feel like something's coming, but you
hmm
don't know what it is. But in that sense,
Hmm.
you get impatient, like, bro, I've been waiting on this. Example, stimulus checks. Everybody was waiting on their stimulus checks. Me, at first, I wasn't tripping on it, but inside, I was freaking out. Like, bro, what in the world? Like, last time it came right on time. Now it's not coming. But at the same time, in my mind, I'm trying. Like now, I'm trying to work on that. That's the one thing I'm trying to work on in my life is patience in general. No matter if it's with my job, myself, just anything, any obstacle that I have to be patient because me being impatient is making me go crazy sometimes. It makes a lot of us go crazy because we're looking for something. We're reaching for something, a goal, a milestone, a promotion, whatever the situation may be. We're reaching for it, and we feel like once we feel like it's not enough, or we feel like it's not coming as fast as we want it to, some of us give up, and that's kind of the. I see you got to say something. What is it?
Go ahead. My bad. No, you good. You
But
good.
no, I was about to just answer your question, but it it's not. It's kind of hard to put in words, but it's just like something you see. Like for an example, with teachers, especially with teachers in our aspect, us as black people, we have children that don't, that just don't. I'm not gonna say don't care, but don't know how to care as far as being in an environment where you have to learn, you have to sit down, and you have to understand the rules, and you got to do this and you got to do that. There's a rule for everything that you have to do in order to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
With our black kids, some parents don't teach those survival skills. Some parents just kind of let them learn from experience. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I kind of do it too, but at the same time, it's like with those children, they don't have like example. I have a kid at school that does not have any type of like patience. Don't want to wait in line. Don't want to do like if it has any type of waiting, if it's a brain thing, anything. If he feel like he need help right now, you don't give him that help.
He
He
gonna
gonna
flip.
he gonna get that help regardless of how you feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a I'm not gonna say it's a curse, but it's a thing that we all have to work on. But it's something that we all don't really know how to work on. I don't in a
So,
sense.
so let me ask you this. Before, because y'all, I'm ditzy and I forget my train of thoughts. So let me go back to you talking about patience, and it's embedded in our DNA. And then I want to work forward and then go backwards, if that makes
Okay.
sense. So remember that I said that so I can remember it. But as far as kids in on survival mode, so some of them are, but some of it, do you feel as if as a teacher, and Malcolm, you chime in too, because I feel like you're not saying nothing,
No,
but
I'm
as a teacher,
no,
and
I'm gonna chime in. I'm letting y'all speak.
do you feel as if at times, because I personally do, that they don't know because the parents don't know, or the parents don't know how to teach, or they don't know how to or articulate how to necessarily show them how to do what they need to do, or they're not getting the attention because supposedly, like, that's just hypothetically speak, they're in a single household and the mama have to work to make sure the bills are paid. So are they really paying attention to their education and making sure they got that money to make sure that they have a roof over their head?
Mm-hmm.
You
Actually, yeah, I can definitely attest to that shit. Because I'll just speak from my experience. Because um, it was a point in time where my mom and my now my late dad, now at this point, this has already been passed since 2017. Actually, the New Year's. So it's been 4 years. So it's not that recent that not even that my dad passed, but he was in my life at a point in time where he was healthy enough to walk, talk, take me to football practice because I was playing Pop Warner at the time. But before that, it was a point in time I was in a two-parent household. Inevitably, I find out whatever dad cheated on mom, blah blah blah, whatever.
mm,
Um,
That's intense.
you know, separate at because I didn't find out until I was 19,
Oh
mm,
wow.
so I didn't really know what happened for real. I didn't
wow.
even guess. I never asked because I just kind of blame my mom for it because my
Mm,
mom, how my mom is. Um, Look, that's my mom. I love her, but she knows this. She can be. This is where I get like, y'all know me personally as a passive aggressive type of person. We all know this,
Mm-hmm.
and
Just aggressive. You
unfortunate,
can take the passive
unfortunate.
out.
Just fuck the passive. I'm aggressive as hell. Where I get it from, I get it from my mom. So just knowing how. how many times she has yelled at me from the time that I was young as hell to now. Um, it's pretty, it's no disrespect to her. She knows this. It's not no secret, you know what I'm saying? She's working
Right.
on it. It's not like she's not working on herself. That's where the mental health comes in. She's going to church more, this, that, and the third. I see the growth in her. It still happens here and there, but it's controlled. It's not, we can talk about it, so to speak. We have
Yeah.
conversations without really going to blows. Cause I never go to blows with my mom. I never argue with her. She's whenever that voice gets raised, I automatically just shut down. So
Right.
when I get a woman that yells at me, I do shut the fuck down sometimes. I don't even really spaz out the majority of the time, really for real, because I get that from my mom. So
Unless
therefore,
they piss you off.
so
That
my
part.
mentality,
You said it, Nation, not me.
what my
Unless
men,
they piss you
so my
off.
mentality, y'all niggas are stupid. Y'all niggas are stupid.
It's
But
No,
just
my
like
men,
what I was thinking.
that is
exactly,
funny though, bro. I'm sorry.
exactly. But my mentality when I was young is that my dad was so laid back and chill. Like it didn't seem like he did anything wrong. So what the fuck was? Why are y'all getting divorced? Why? What the fuck? No, I'm looking at my mom like hell no. Why I gotta stay with you and why I come? How come my dad gotta leave? Type shit. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stay. I can't stay with my dad. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But you know, as the days goes on, like I didn't lose love for my mom. Of course, I was just a little kid. I didn't understand, so I was like, "What the fuck is going on, nigga?" I was like 7, 2003. Like, nigga, my birthday was around the corner, nigga, and they got a divorce. Like,
Um,
what the fuck?
Fuck that birthday present.
Like,
and Malcolm, I commend you for actually getting on here and speaking your truth. That takes a strong person to do that.
yeah, because a
Um,
lot of people don't know that. Really, I don't even think I told y'all that. So
Nah,
the
first time hearing that one, bro. Real life.
because of the fact that that shit is true as fuck. I just don't like speaking on that shit because it's like why I'm in a good place with my mom now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She didn't have
right,
to do the shit that she's doing now. She loves her son. So it's not like she just did shit out of like hate or anything like that for me. She just did what was best for her too, as far as me and her. You know what I'm saying? So therefore when it got down to the point where even but my mom could have been that mom that didn't allow my dad to come in my life. That's what kind of made things better between me and my mom because she
absolutely,
wasn't like bitter towards my dad, even how he did her and whatever the case may be.
right,
Um, I looked at it as a thing like, oh, okay, well, my mom and my dad are still cool, and she still allowed my dad to come over for Christmas, spend the night with me and shit like that. Because I always asked, can my dad spend the night? I always asked my mom because I knew what it was at this point. So I'd be
Mm.
like, can my pop spend the night over? That's my pops, nigga. Like, fuck, nigga.
right,
Like, nah, nigga, I need my pops over here. You feel me? So when it came down to that, it was always cool. You know what I'm saying? But when I always got in trouble, who would she call? My damn dad. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I see that my mom still at the point my dad was still a breadwinner by the end of the day. He's had good jobs working in the Air Force and working in reserve. Then he had got a job at aerospace before he unfortunately passed. He had great jobs. So therefore he was always having different fucking cars. So that's how that hustle mentality is what I'm trying to start now. I just couldn't do it then because I was always so fucking emotional about shit that I couldn't really see what I was supposed to see until now. So
right.
just like so now
My
that my
brother.
mom and my dad were in divorced at this point of October of 2003, I had to deal with that throughout elementary, middle school, and
Uh,
then unfortunately I missed my last Pop Warner football game because my dad inevitably was in the hospital. I was
Mhm.
I was playing football because of this nigga.
Right,
My dad was still alive, I'm not saying I wouldn't have been at Jarvis, but it would have been a fair chance that I wouldn't have been going to Jarvis for nothing. I would have been at those top schools because I feel like my dad would have been like, nigga, bop, what's
get
wrong
it
with you?
together.
Get
Right,
it together, nigga. And he didn't have to say a word or two. He just said a sentence, and you better do it. Military minded Air Force, 20 plus years. What you think I was
right.
going to do?
Do it.
Exactly. Get with the program, nigga. What? If I had my dad in my life, I would be on my shit. Not saying my mom couldn't get me on it. That's the whole point. I don't want to blame my mom because I couldn't get on my shit.
Right.
Because there's a lot of football players, NBA players in that same predicament I was that I could have been in.
Right.
What was wrong with me? How come I couldn't pull myself out of it? Life was different for everybody. So I had to deal with the cards I had dealt with myself. Even when I was in high school. Fucked around in high school because it was just my mom and me. That's it. She had to work second. She had to work. She worked the morning shift sometimes, but I had band practice. So I would come home sometimes at fucking 10 o'clock. She was asleep. I
Malcolm,
wasn't
I high key forgot you were in band.
I didn't.
exactly.
I didn't.
Now people know.
I mean,
Yes, I
I
was.
knew you was in band, but like until you said it, I was just like, dang, he really was in
It's like
band.
I did a
Because
lot of.
I remember
I
you
still
coming
did
out
some
to
shit.
practice with Charles, and I was just like,
I
But
came out and did a lot of things, but just to not really just like go too long because I know everybody has to speak on here, but just knowing that alone and how teachers were important to me at the time. Some of the teachers, the principals that was to obviously elaborate on the question that you asked and what you said about how we're taught and stuff like that, and
mm-hmm,
how much attention we needed. My sister was there still a little bit for me and stuff like that. Some of my uncles will pop in and out here and there. She'll have family friends come over, so it kind of made it seem like, okay, my mom is trying. And not like
yeah,
she has to work. She has to go put in the work. She's still putting in work now. You know what I'm saying? To try to make sure once my son gets the fuck up out of here, he doesn't have to come back to this bitch no more. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
mm-hmm,
So it's just like that's the whole mindset that I feel like now. I feel like I understand how my mom is now. So I go hard because she goes hard. It's just I didn't understand it, but at the same time I understood it to a point. Like my mom has to work. Like I know I'm not paying the bill. She ain't asked me like pay rent at fucking 7 to damn near 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? She didn't say none of that. So it was just like that's how that is. So now you have to understand that, live your truth, deal with the cards that you dealt, and try to make a crapped out hand into a royal flush.
okay.
So there it goes.
and my
Um,
oh, go my bad. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, no, no. But I wasn't gonna talk long. But just to answer your question, just seeing what I see on a regular basis, I do think that you are correct. Sometimes these parents don't. And to be honest, Malcolm, I was actually gonna kind of chime in and say your story, truthfully, is a bunch of these children's story, bro. Your story is a bunch of these kids' story. Either they don't know their dad or they don't know their mom. It's one or
Mm-hmm.
the other. Or they do. You get those that have a double parent household, and that's probably the best kids that you have
Mm-hmm.
because they're structured. Their parents, one parent works, one parent stays at home with the kids. It's normally the mama work, but these days sometimes the mother works and the dad stays at home with the kids. It don't really matter. But the one parent household kids, especially those black and brown kids, bro, you can tell it's mostly the mother. And when it's mostly the mother, those kids, some of those kids act out, and it's not because they want attention, and that
Oh
that's a
yeah.
that's a partial thing. But the truth is, it's just they just want an ear, bro. They don't want attention. I
Okay,
can tell
voice
you,
serve.
I work with middle school kids, and all I do is listen. I don't talk. They don't ask me for advice. They do. I give them certain advice at certain times, only appropriate to their age and to the school. If they ask me about a question about life and certain answer that I can't answer, I'm gonna answer it for you. But honestly, like they just want to know that you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of maybe
Definitely can attest to that.
I'm one of maybe 18 to maybe 24 of the teachers in my school that the kids will go to just talk. A kid to catch me in the hallway walking to class and be like, "Can you walk with me? I can talk to you about something."
But that says a lot about your character.
But y'all already know I've always been that person. Like for some reason, people just feel like they see me and they're like, "I can talk to him." It's weird. Some people I don't talk to, some I do. But if I do open my ear to you, I want to hear what you got to say. When these kids, if a kid stop me in the middle of the highway crying, if I'm walking and I see somebody crying, I'm gonna ask what's wrong. I don't want you to feel like you're not wanted here. And some of these kids come to school have bad days because of some
Right.
things at home. And they don't talk to their friends about it because their friends are judgmental. In this day, it's about what you have. It's not about you as a person to these kids. They're about the visual. They're not about the inside.
Right.
That's what they see on social media, so that's what they portray. Especially middle school kids. They're the most right now. They're the most like they watch everything social media.
Man,
They want to have the Fendi belts. They want to have the Glock with the extended. They want all
man, my little nephew.
what they see.
God damn.
That's what they see, and that's what they emulate. They love young boy.
Boy,
If
man.
young boy stupid, and he
Sir.
won't. They love all these new rappers because they're rapping a fantasy for these kids to escape their actual reality. It's all about escaping reality for them. They don't want to think about their mama having to work long hours and them at home by themselves, pretty much raising themselves. They don't want to think about their daddy that hadn't been in their life, don't even know what he looked like 9 times out of 10. And if they do, it was probably when they was like 6 or 7
Months old at times.
months. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
For real. So they crave certain attention, but they really just crave an ear. I can count on my fingers. I probably can't even count on my fingers how many times a kid then called me, Coach, can I talk to you? I look at him, what you want? What's up? Nah, it's serious. And then, all right, come on, let's walk. Let's walk. I'm gonna listen to you. I'm not gonna tell you because I know you try to talk to your parent and she probably ain't trying to hear that because she gotta go to her next shift or she just got off work and she tired. I'm gonna open my ears because I know that's all y'all really want. It's an audience. It don't have to be 7, 8 people. It can be one person.
Mm-hmm.
If that one person open his ears, that'll be all the audience these kids need. And that's one thing that I feel that most teachers that have been teaching, like I call them veteran teachers, they don't understand that anymore. They used to when they were teaching at first, but they've gotten so used to the politics they're not understanding the children anymore. And
Hmm.
isn't that what we're aiming to do?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't we aiming to change their culture for them because we see the culture, we see what they're going down, we know where they're going. They're going down the same road they tried to get us to go down, the thug road,
Hmm.
the hood road. Some of us went down there, some of us didn't. It's
So,
just simple.
so I want to say this, and this is off and on the record, because it's kind of just dropped in my spirit, and I'm not trying to be all spiritual and stuff like that.
No, go ahead.
However, no, I'm so serious, like I could cry.
Speak your truth.
However, like Nation, with you being that person for them children, that to me, that's your ministry. My pastor has always told us everybody that ministers isn't always going to be in the pulpit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not perfect. You are God is using you to talk to those kids, to be that voice. You said it's weird how they just come to you. Your light is shining bright and you don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your blessings are gonna come. So don't get discouraged and don't be in a dismay because it's gonna come when it's supposed to come, not when you want it, and it's gonna come when you least expect it. However, let's go back to the matter at hand. You said that it was inbred in our DNA, with being impatient. What makes you feel that way? Because I know that we live in a society where everybody's impatient. It's I think it's called the popcorn effect. We want
Yeah.
stuff quick. Microwave effect. We want stuff quick. We want stuff quick. To
No,
the
you was
point
right the first time. I think popcorn effect was
popcorn
correct that
I
time.
think it's
Yeah.
a microwave effect though. Because
Is it?
when you microwave something, you get it fast versus putting it in the oven.
Well, all right, yeah. Well, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
You're right.
it's like somebody can have a bad day at the store. They have their phones down. Somebody bump into them. What you bumping to me for? Not knowing that they just lost their mother. So, do you feel like the impatience comes from the society, or impatience is inbred in us? Because if we look back at slavery days, we had to have patience to try to go and get away from the quote unquote plantation and get to freedom. So, I just kind of want your perspective of that.
Um, as far as well, let me put it like this. Let me put it in a different sense. It's like you said, and since you said that, you are right about that. As far as back in those days, so when we were slaves and when we were, trying to get our freedom,
Handle.
it was
Instant gratification.
we,
Okay.
we were we were
I
we
see what
were
you're saying.
patient.
Yeah.
You're right, but as the world
Shout
has,
out to my boy Kendall. That's my like he knows me like the back of my hand. Shout out to him, not to interrupt. Shout out to my
no,
boy
you're
Kendall
good.
Gray. He also has a podcast himself. He's going crazy on his podcast. I be watching some of your stuff, bro. Appreciate you for tuning in. But go ahead, my boy Nation. Appreciate my fault.
uh, like I was saying, yeah, back in those days we did have patience because we did have to plan out. But if you've noticed lately in the last in the last decade, our patience has thinned. I'm not gonna say it's embedded in our DNA because that might have been the wrong terminology. I'm gonna say we've gotten lazy.
Oh, yes, sir.
It's just we went with society and how it is because of the internet and stuff like that. So yeah, that has something to do with that. Honestly,
Internet,
I really agree with that.
music, TV shows, they plan it's all planned to keep you lazy and complacent.
We were always outside when we were younger. My boy
Exactly.
Kendall
Think
can
about it.
attend. My
Think
boy
about it.
Kendall can attend to this. When we were younger, yes, we had the PlayStation still, but guess what? We
We
took
had
our asses
TV,
outside.
but where was we at?
Outside.
Outside. The only
Smelling
time
like
we got to
outside.
even play the video games is when we came back in the house after we took our shower, we ate, did all the family things and stuff like that. That we don't get back to that no more. That's what the like that's the type of society that we was living in. Cool, we got technology, but we have to have it a balance. Now we got too much of us being in the house.
But
Whoa,
now,
whoa, whoa.
but
I'm
now,
just saying.
with this pandemic that we have, they won't allow us to go outside.
Let me just say this because my kids
Not
take
true.
their
Now
tail outside.
nowadays, yeah, that's valid now. Valid. But that
You
was
know,
even
outside, yeah, I like
before
outside.
the pandemic though. You know what I'm saying? Even before the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
yeah,
don't.
you may put your son outside, but the majority of them kids that are young, they ain't them niggas is inside the house.
And they going
My kids
outside.
go outside.
You going outside?
I'm
You know what
thirsty.
I'm
You better
saying?
drink from the
Because
water
y'all were
hose.
raised, we were raised to be like, hey, go outside. Why is you even on the game like that? Go outside. Me, my mom, you know what my mom did with me? Monday through Thursday. Guess what it
Unplayable
was?
game.
No game. Shut it
Unplayable
down at all. I couldn't even touch it.
game.
You feel me? No matter what. But guess what though? What you can do is after you go home and do your homework, guess what? Take your ass outside.
I have a question to both of you guys because since we were talking about our voices being heard, as
We
Black males, do you feel as if young and old, your voice is heard?
Uh, it's
mm,
heard in it's heard in a way that is more aggressive than peace.
Okay.
When we're trying to express our peace, it comes out aggressive because that's all we kind of know. So it's dependent on the situation that we're dealing with here.
Okay.
So it's like
From an emotional standpoint,
from an emotional standpoint, I would say yeah.
you feel like your voice is heard for
No,
emotionally.
not well, not yeah, but like because it's like a yes and no question. I'm gonna lean towards more no, just to
Okay.
answer the question directly because of the fact that it's not heard in the right tone
Okay.
because we're because of this. Some because
okay.
it's really because of this. It really is, and it's like whether we're calm about it, and I'm just saying theoretically speaking. Look, from an emotional standpoint, we can be as calm as whatever. We get pulled over by cops because that's the main like example that I can attest to. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. Like they can bring 3 squad cars of white dudes for one of us over a ticket. It's not needed.
A
All them
broken
cop
tail
cars don't
light.
need to be there. And I'm not saying everybody deals with the same thing. I'm just saying the majority of the time in our communities, we see too many cop cars, squad cars on one thing just to pull somebody over for expired tags. You're
And
not running from nobody. It's just stuff like that.
that
In a
had that has a place in mental health, but to go back to like true mental health, like do you feel as if you're granted or you are allowed to let your voice be truly heard and allow that space for your emotions to be there and allow
no,
yourself to be passionate about something without being a quote unquote punk? Go ahead, Nation. I'm sorry.
No.
no. I'm gonna just answer that and say no. Hell no.
I'm gonna just go on. I'm not playing devil's advocate. I'm gonna tell the truth. No,
I
not in
feel
the,
it.
No.
as a black
No.
man, not in the black society, and
Nope.
not in the world. And I'm
Nope.
gonna be 100% with you. In the black society, we do not.
We're not loved unconditionally.
We
That's
do
the whole
not.
point. I feel like he's trying to make.
And I'm not, and I have nothing against black women whatsoever. I love all black women. My wife's black, my mom's black. But when we get into an argument with y'all about any subject, No matter if we have the facts, we are wrong. No matter how you spin it, we are wrong. It is just a natural fact. My daddy told me this when I was a baby, when I was a kid. When you argue with a black woman, especially your mama or your wife, even when you're right,
You're still
you're
wrong.
wrong.
But that's, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but in the same breath, um,
You were
if it's
wrong.
right, right is right and wrong is wrong at the
True.
end of the day. Yeah, it
True.
could be like, you better take my side or you're gonna be sleeping on the couch. But that's manipulation.
Exactly.
However, what do you feel is if you could do to change the taboo and the perspective of being emotional as
Um,
a black male without
um,
and having the voice to express yourself and
And hold on,
express
and
how
hold
you
on,
really
Nation.
feel? Write down those.
No, and finish the question. My bad, because I was reading my boy Kendall. It says, "I feel like myself and others don't expose or express our emotional voices as much as we need to consider some of the trauma we go through." Okay,
Absolutely.
that is a definite fact, Kendall. That's what I'm saying. My boy, I don't need to
thank you, Kendall.
That,
make his race known or anything like that. So but he is definitely a
we
part
know
of our
what's up with
community.
Kendall.
So we know what's up.
Shout out to
He knows
Kendall
what's up.
Craig,
He's
man.
definitely tapped in. That's my boy. You know
But
what I'm saying? No matter how much I like how many I haven't talked to him in years, but trust me, it's all love when I see him. Of course.
but
My boy.
to answer your question, even though Kendall kind of kind of
Listen, Kendall own it.
Kendall took it,
He on it, bro. He's I'm trying to
but
tell you, bro. I know real ones, bro.
he is
This is
truthfully right. Like honestly, and I'm with you on that one, Kendall. I feel like we don't express our emotional voice, but it comes to something we said off the record. We don't want to express our emotional voice because we've been taught not to. We've been taught to be strong in a sense, but who's to say a man with emotions isn't strong? Who's to say a man who doesn't feel might be stronger than a man who doesn't?
mm-hmm.
Who's to say that man with those emotions can't use those emotions to guide him to a better situation than a man without those emotions?
Right.
It's
Mm-hmm.
always a who's to say. I feel like I am an emotional man. I'm gonna go and say it and be honest with you.
Oh,
Speak
yeah.
your truth.
I
Hey,
am.
Kelsey knows I'm emotional, so I ain't even gotta say it.
I get it from my dad. Honest, me and my dad are the same person. He just an older version of me, real life. And my
Hmm.
and my son is the triplet because we all are the same. We act the same, same facial expressions. When we mad, you can see it. It's written all right here. We
It's
are the
written all
same
over your
three
face.
people, like literally written on our face, but we don't express it. And I think that's what tears a bunch of black men apart. We hold those emotions in. We don't speak those emotions out. We don't say what we mean sometimes. And we know sometimes that we need to, but it's just in our nature. We just don't do it. It's
So
something we hmm?
go ahead. My bad. I don't want to interrupt.
I just feel like it's something we need to change as a black man. I feel like I'm not saying go all out emotional all the time, but I feel like we need to expose that emotion because it's really eating away from us on the inside. We're getting we're getting taken apart piece by piece by ourselves, and we're not doing anything to do that. That's where the self love comes from. That's a part. I feel like every black man should have that time where they go in the mirror and just even if it's not in the mirror, you go for a run and express yourself. You need to go scream, get all
Self
your
care.
just something to make sure you're good because we eat ourselves up trying to hold in all that anger. And then, like you say, somebody bump you on the wrong day and it's TNT. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
You stepped on a landmine. Now it's time to party. Now you got to deal with all this aggression that I got, and most of it ain't even towards you. You
Mhm.
just got caught in the wrong situation.
So let me ask you this, and you can say yes, you can say no, whatever. Are any of you in therapy?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
This is my therapy.
Have any of y'all have ever either now or in the past had like, and you can say yes or no, like suicidal thoughts or anything?
yeah, Yeah, I can say yeah.
And the only reason I say that is
Yep.
because a
Yeah.
lot of black, going back to what Nation said, a lot of black men are not, like you said, are not allowed to express themselves. So they do internalize everything and they do feel like, well, maybe life is better without me because my voice isn't heard. Anyway, but now my next question is, why is therapy so taboo in the black community to you guys?
We don't want people in our business. I'm just gonna go on and get to the straight point.
Okay.
It gets to the point to where black people like to keep everything bottled up. We don't want people. We don't want to talk about those bad things, those bad memories, the bad stuff that's hunting us, the stuff that we dream about sometimes that turns into nightmares, that makes us not sleep, that gives us that insomnia that we really don't want. And a lot of us don't want to speak that truth because it happens to a bunch of us.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So let me to like kind of elaborate more on that. It's like a lose-lose situation for us in that department when it comes down to therapy. Because like, all right, cool, we let's just play the race card because usually that's how it is. No
Mm-hmm.
matter what, seems like a therapist. All right, we get a black therapist, black woman. Okay, I'm a black man. I go to a black woman for therapy. Oh, I'm gonna make it some type of way for some reason. Usually, if you're so emotional, you have to go to therapy. You make it emotional. Some people actually have therapy and it helps. I'm speaking for those that think of it as a negative thing. I'm talking to those
Mm-hmm.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm that's the direction I'm going right now, and I'll
You
make
got
it
that
to.
on?
I was
So
about to
in the
say,
next,
Malcolm, keep in mind I'm sensitive about my persuasion.
I know, no, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, not towards you, not towards you,
I know. I'm just kidding.
but it's like it's towards. I already know you get, but like when it comes down to like, and that seems like, all right, cool. Well, I'm a black man, you're a black woman. You should understand. So why are we even talking type stuff? Or in that type of realm, just to make a long story short in that sense, oh, a white therapist, whether it's a woman or a man, well, you're not black, you wouldn't understand, and stuff like that. Just always so negative about the thing.
Right.
But the direction it needs to go is like, it's okay. You have trauma. Just, just go deal with it. Like, it's supposed to be right to deal with your trauma. It's supposed to be right for us to feel a type of way, just like a woman feels. It doesn't matter. We came from a fucking female. We're going to have emotions no matter
You're
what it is.
human.
And Kendall, yes, it is. More therapy is definitely needed, though it's not always covered on medical. LOL. Yes, I know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's really not.
See,
So
my
it's
thing
one of
is,
those type of things where if you can't afford therapy, you got to start looking up. Church has always been a form of therapy. Yes, yeah, exactly. That and
Kendall,
that's true.
for some, you are definitely right. For
For
some,
some is for some. So that is true. But when it comes down to if you can't afford it or if you feel like church doesn't help, we have the internet. We have videos of a lot of things that you can look up that be
I,
like. And I'm not saying that that is a step like that may help, but at the same time, what it is. Council go first. Council go first, and then Nation, you can go after.
he had his hand up first.
Oh,
yeah.
he did. No, Nation, you had it. I didn't see. I
I,
didn't see
all,
that.
all I was gonna say was honestly, bro. Even not even the internet. I'm gonna be honest with you. There are ways for you to have your own therapy. I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. This right here, the Black Journal is my therapy. This is where I come to get like if I have something to say, I come here because this right here is a platform for us. Nobody can ban us for saying what we want to say. They can't take our video down for saying this. We're
Right.
speaking facts, but we're also getting off what we need to get off. Sometimes we just need a platform to say, look, I'm not angry. I'm just fed the hell up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not angry about what Trump did. I should be. I'm just fed up. Now we have Biden. Now we have a chance to actually go to him and be like, look, this is what we need. We're not asking for a lot. We're just asking for these few key points to get us what we need to survive like y'all surviving.
Right.
And then we'll be on our way. We won't bother y'all. I promise you we won't. We'll stay out the way, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
The moment you tell us you don't have that for us, the little things we're asking for, then what do you expect? Trump said no off the jump. Yeah, he gave us the stimulus checks to shut everybody the hell up because that's exactly what that money was. Hush money.
Shut the fuck up, money.
If you've
I'm gonna
noticed,
be real.
Everybody was pissed off about not getting their checks, and some still haven't got theirs. But once they get their checks, what do you hear from them?
Nothing.
Silence.
Shut your ass up,
Be the
Goofy. You
fuck
got your money.
quiet. Go spend this 600, and I'll see you in a couple of months when tax season rolls around.
I just wanted to say, like, going back to therapy, um, there are crisis lines and there are different avenues that you can go through where everything is free and confidential. You can do your local area, you can do one called NYC Well. You can call, like, no matter what you go through, there's always a way that you can get your voice heard. Some people say what they gotta say, boom, it is what it is. I never want to talk to you again. So you can go and do different avenues when it comes to that. I just thought I'll put my 2 cents
I mean,
in
well,
there.
you are. That is your profession. You're very knowledgeable in that. So it's just like saying that and concerned that is true. We shit. Our fraternity and sorority have our own crisis line. We have people that we go to. We have, you know, things that we do with the community that deals with therapy when it comes down to March of Dimes or programs like that that focus on the youth in that type of field of mental health. That's what we have to reach. I'm not saying, of course, we're getting older and stuff like that in our age, but we're still young enough to still
Speak
make
for
an
yourself.
impact. I mean, nigga.
But okay, this is just like an out of curiosity question. What makes it hard for Black men to be vulnerable?
The judgment. The
I can
judgment.
see that.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation for us.
Okay.
Like
No,
what?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep
Oh,
going back. Keep going. Keep going. No, keep going.
no.
Yeah,
Let me backtrack. It's not a lose-lose situation. It's a win-lose situation, but the loss is way greater than the win.
Mm,
Because in a
what's the
sense,
answer?
y'all want, like, with Black women, all women that date Black men want us, or any man wants us to be. We're just going to focus on Black men at this moment. Sorry, other races, but I just want to speak from experience. But with Black men, Black women want us to be emotional. They want us to show some emotion, but at the same time, they want you to still be that strong man that they need if they want to cry on your shoulder, or if they need you to take up the slack. That's what they need. That's just that's just what they know. That's what most of them know. If they don't know, that's just what they expect. And I'm not knocking anybody's expectations, because I try my best every day to try to be a better man than I was the day before. Sometimes it don't work,
preach.
sometimes it do. But it's a work in progress.
Facts.
But at the same time, it's like, yes, that we can be emotional, and once we start being emotional, we don't know
Yes,
how to
sir,
turn off.
Kendall.
We can't turn our emotions off.
But
We can't. And I'm being honest with you. I don't understand what it is about a Black man or about a man, period. But
I'll elaborate after you
once
speak.
we turn those emotions on, they're on. There's no going back to being cold hearted. Because if you want us to be cold hearted, or you want us to turn those emotions off sometimes, there's not an on and off switch to that. We don't have control of that. Just like y'all don't have control. Well, I don't know. Y'all are some very, very interesting creatures.
not too much, because so are y'all.
Yes, we are. I'm not saying interested in a bad way, in a good way, because it's like I've seen it. You can be mad at the world for an hour, and then instantly be happy. Like, wait a minute.
It's
That's
balance. It's all it is balance.
women know how to have for
Women
some
have
reason.
the balance in
And
the
I
world, bro.
see it with my mom every day. You
With a
can see
man,
her
we
pissed
can do
off,
that.
then she'll
With a
just be
man,
happy as hell.
you piss me off, I'm pissed off. There's no going back. You gotta give me at least 3 hours in a blunt to just, because once I'm mad, there's no turning back. You don't get Trey no more. There's no more Trey in your eyes. There's all chaos. You have no more.
I swear to God.
I'm just being 100%. Once you piss me off, there's no physical
Would you
form.
say?
There's all chaos here.
Yeah,
I don't want nothing but smoke. But once I go
Kendall.
sit down and tell myself I was wrong, because most
Yeah,
of the time I be wrong about being mad about certain things, and I admit that. But
right.
it's like, once we sit down and really just think about what the hell we was mad about, we started laughing like, why the fuck was I mad about that shit? Bro, I'm tripping. Bro, I'm tripping. And it's not like it's us. So we have to correct that. We correct
That
that.
is true. And Kendall said, when I'm around others who are open and I really trust, and I feel safe and comfortable around, then I am more open emotionally and vulnerable. So that means okay. So I like to elaborate on that before Kelsey, before you speak, because I want to elaborate on that because of the fact that that's so damn true.
Facts.
That's what we want from women in particular, and we're speaking to black women because we have to speak to y'all. Like it's not because, and I'm speaking to the black women that don't do it. I'm not speaking to you, Kelsey, because you do that every time for us, and I love you. I love you. You know that you do it. I'm speaking to the black women that can't. They feel like we have to hear y'all shit, but when we have our shit going on, it feels like it's not important to y'all. And I've had those females where it's been like that, and they have been black females. Now, I'm not saying all black females. All females do this. So I'm speaking to all females, but we have to deal with that in our own community right now because that's where we're attacking. You know what I'm saying? In a sense, in a good way. We're trying to push forward for greatness. So when I feel open, like Kelsey, you're open enough, and I trust you. Oh shit, she
Oh,
just tapped. Oh,
oh.
oh.
We'll be back in a minute, y'all. But
She'll be back in a minute. She'll be back in a minute. She probably
it
had to.
it's a thing since we're talking about black men, it's a thing that we have to work on as far as black men in the sense anyway. We have that, we have those times where we feel like, we can't be
This year,
emotional.
My bad, y'all. I had some technical difficulties. The ghetto Jesus.
that's just fucking.
It's okay. We were waiting on you to
I was
come
like,
back.
Malcolm is passionate, and I can't hear not a titi thoughter.
Oh,
You missed a
oh,
whole lecture. Ooh.
oh, wow. Nah, but pretty much what I was. Okay, damn. She just took out her earphones again.
No, I can
Okay,
hear you. I can hear you. I'm trying to charge
okay.
my phone. My bad.
No, no, no. You're good. So pretty much what I was saying is like to elaborate on being open. Like when it comes down to you, Kelsa, you're a good example of who's open, and I really trust you to be emotionally vulnerable to you because you understand
You go up
how
again.
hard it is for a black woman. I mean, for a black man to live through this because you are black yourself and you're a woman, so you know it's twice as hard for you. But you also are you having that mothering nature that you are even before you probably even had kids and how you were probably taught made you openly welcome to your whatever whoever it is to the black man to express their feelings. But I'm talking to those that make it seem like when it comes down to, and Nation can attest to this, when
I'm gonna
we
go out.
got to hear y'all shit, and I'm speaking to women, black women in particular. When we got to hear y'all shit, we got to be open ears. We got to be all 100% into what you're saying, and we got to be cool. And but on the same token, when it comes down to us, not saying you, Kelsa, saying sometimes I've dealt with females, black women in particular, where it comes down to when I speak my piece, it seems like I'm overwhelming them, and this, that, and the third, and in that sense, and it makes it seem like I can't even express my feelings towards somebody
Right.
because it's like, well, what the fuck? So I can't feel, so I just gotta sit here and just take it like a man and not express my shit.
So
Fuck
you
out of
get
here.
defensive.
So and then
Yo,
that's where the defensive shit comes in because it seems like I can't express
oh,
myself anymore. So I get mad as fuck. I've had that emotionally things with you
yes, bro.
sometimes,
Look,
and we've gotten better from that. But
Malcolm is speaking the truth, the whole truth,
it's the truth though.
nothing
I've
but
really dealt with that a lot.
because I can speak from experience with that too because I've been with a lot of women that as Malcolm said don't want to hear your side or it's overwhelming or this and that. But I've been with this woman 7 years. Will be 8 next December. We butt heads. It happens. Every relationship is not perfect. But
Right.
I will always say this, and I tell Malcolm this all the time. I'd rather fight with this motherfucker over here, argue with her every day, and come back and love on her right afterwards, than do this shit again with somebody else.
Man, listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's that true love right there.
People don't understand. When somebody understands you, even if you get on their nerves, because I know I get on her nerves sometimes. That's why she let me have a man cave so I can get out her face. It's understanding, and I love her for it. But it's a together thing. No matter what we go through, no matter how much we argue, she can text me and she can be pissed off at me all day and text me and be like, such and such pissed me off. Who and who ass I gotta be? It's just
You feel like it's reciprocation?
yeah, it's just how
That's all. We just want the equality feelings, just like you want it. Just like a woman wants that emotional feel, we want that too. It's not like we're not hard. We're not. I swear to God, I wish I would see a nigga that's hard. Like nigga, yeah, I don't want no love, cause I'm sad, nigga on the hood, nigga
I've
on
seen that
club.
personally with you.
nigga,
But
I'll take this love
A
over
little
being
bit.
a hood nigga any day.
Not like that though. Not too hard. You
I'll
know.
take this love that I got over being a hood nigga or a hard ass nigga any day.
This is that's
see,
what
this
it is.
is this is the thing, and this is what I always tell people: release equals healing. So
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how you release it, as long as you release it and as long as you're like, all right, once I'm done talking about this, it's overdone, then you'll heal from it. Because a lot of us in the black community goes back to what Malcolm said. We do experience trauma. We do experience family secrets that nobody want to talk about. We do experience things, different hurts, from
Mm-hmm.
your family, and it's all swept under the rug. So my question to you, to go back into mental health, sorry, I keep redirecting
Oh, no, you
you. Why are things swept under the rug in the black community, and me and Nation and Malcolm? Um, as far as family secrets go, how do we break that curse, or what are you doing as a parent or as an uncle to break that curse of quote unquote family secrecy?
Malcolm, you want to go first, or you want me to go?
Because I
Ask
can
that question
switch.
again because I want to go. I want to go first. Like, ask, like, kind of like ask that question again because I had to like, damn near, I was soaking in all the game.
Was
That
it
was
too
crazy.
much?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, it goes through
Okay.
like,
Man,
So,
that was
yeah,
perfect.
okay, I already talked
that
about
was
release
perfect
and
though.
healing. However, my question was, we have experienced trauma, we have experienced hurt, we have
Hmm.
experienced all these things from our family, from our family, including family secrets and things being swept under the rug. So I guess
Yeah.
my question is, you as an Uncle Malcolm and you as a dad, Nation, how do we break those? Well, what are you doing to stop those things being swept under the rug and quote unquote family secrets?
Okay, so okay, I'll go first because
Does that
I
make
am.
sense now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now that makes sense. So I am an
Okay.
uncle. So that is true. Not only to my boy Tristan, of course, be sworn in by Nation. Of course, I appreciate him for that because he knows I'm a good guy. And I wouldn't steer this nigga Tristan in the wrong way. And I do that for my little niece and nephew, Danae and Dante Jr. So Dante Jr. I have more of a connection with because obviously he's more of a boy. Obviously, he's a boy. Um, and so I relate to him more because he does the same things I do: play video games, watch YouTube. We do the same thing, so it's kind of easy to deal with him in a sense of like, hey, uncle, can I play the game? Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead, little nephew, you good, you got it. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be on my phone. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Let him do that all the time. Let him have his fun. I'll even play with him every once in a while and try to make it have conversations with him that when it comes down to it, like when he had when his grades was slipping, I had to be like an external parent in the sense like Doctor, come here, let me holler at you real quick. Like can't you're not dumb. You know what I mean? We're not part of no dumb families. It doesn't matter what you're going through at home and everything. You don't have to worry about anything but just go to school. Please
Right.
do that for me. Cause I know if I was you, I would want to be your age right now and repeat everything I just did
Oh,
fact.
and do it
Mary had a
better.
little lamb.
Better. I'm talking about way better than what I did. Trust me. So, but I also have a 10-year-old niece. And that's a little tricky because she asks a shit ton of questions sometimes, and I'm still young, so it gets a little irritating sometimes. Like, ask your grandma. You don't say why you kind of, you know what I'm saying? But I have to remember, it's like that's my little niece, bro. Like, she's a female. She's gonna have a lot of questions. She's gonna So I have conversations with her in a different sense. I give her more conversations than I do my little nephew because I feel like I have to put more of my love that, because sometimes I be irritated sometimes and I don't be wanting to deal with nobody. My mom pissed me off about some other shit or whatever. I'm mad. She over here coming up here in my room. I'm like, what the fuck does she want? You know what I'm saying? But I have to understand that I love my niece and nephew and I have to show that instead of just being so fucking like all that. So it's more of an internal thing for us to teach our younger, seed, whether if our niece or nephew, or of course Kelsey and Nation with y'all kids, it's a little bit more different with me because those are your kids that you have to raise that are relying on you to not only be emotionally get them emotionally in check with themselves, but also you also have to be emotionally in check with your own self, with your inner self, so you can give the better version of a parent that you can be. So that's what I'm doing for my niece and nephew. So it's more I got of an early practice. I was an uncle when I was fucking 12 years old.
Mm.
Like my little nephew was born March 25th of 2008.
Come on, Aries,
So
gang.
he's an Aries. You know what I'm saying? So he's, you feel me? Boy Aries a little easy different. They so like cool and shit. You feel me? So they cool. You feel me? And then my little niece is born on the 2nd of June of 2010. You know what I'm saying?
He's a
So
Gemini.
those Geminis, they're a little,
She's
you
a
know what I'm
Gemini.
saying? So you gotta be patient with them. So
Mhm.
it's teaching me how to be patient in a way that knowing when they come over here, I have to be aware. Okay, my niece coming over. I know she's gonna bug the shit out of me. Okay, I can't take it negatively. You know what I'm saying? Because she's a kid. I was like, that was me. I don't care if I was a girl or a boy. I was an annoying little shit, crying over. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
I
mean?
mean, grown up too, but that's neither here nor there.
As a grown up too. You put me on the spot. It's true. Okay. You here? I know you been. I know what you're trying to do. It's cool though. Absolutely, it's true. It's true. But to just pretty much cut it short, because I know Nation will definitely elaborate even greater on a different parent.
Look, Nation know what's up. That's why he over there laughing that hard.
Yeah, that's why it's like he was there too though. You feel me? He know me too. So it's like I can't hide that. I can't just be like I don't know what you're talking about. Like no, I can't hide that. You feel
You
me?
better speak your truth. Walk
So
in your truth, Malcolm.
so when it comes down to that, it's like I have to understand that these are my little nieces and nephews. They don't know that I'm irritated. They didn't do nothing to make me irritated. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I have to just separate that and know how to just be calm and be more in Zen moments. How my dad was. My dad was so like that's where I tap into the true peace. My mom can be peaceful too. I'm not saying she's just always rah rah like a dungeon dragon or anything like that. But at the same time, it's more
Relationship.
of it. At the same time, my dad was more of the
Yeah,
peacemaker.
right, like a
But
dungeon.
what are you doing for your niece and nephew? Not to cut you off, but
No,
what are
no,
you doing for your niece and nephews to stop family secrets? Or
you just got to get them to open up more and get them to like. You got to ask a lot of questions.
but you just said she get on your nerves.
I'm not okay, but didn't I just say that I have more of a conversation? If you actually were listening to me, I actually have more of a conversation
Okay, now
with my niece
welcome
than my
Malcolm,
nephew.
the
I'm
real
just
Malcolm.
I'm just saying, if you were listening, I have more of a
I did.
conversation.
I
And I ask
was,
more questions to my niece than I do my nephew
and
because my
I heard you say that, and I'm
exactly.
not discrediting you for that, Malcolm. I promise that I'm not.
So whether if I feel like she's annoying or not, I have that right to feel that way because it's
Absolutely,
so
and your
I
feelings are valid.
and and then guess what? I'm also acknowledging that I have to be better and not really allow that to get me to be like that towards my niece because she
Right.
didn't do shit. That's just what she is right now because she's young as hell.
Right. Of course.
So that's all I'm saying. There you go. Go ahead, Nation, because I know you want to elaborate. Because that question could be towards y'all as well. You can even
Oh,
answer your question.
damn! After that long speech, I forgot the question.
Damn,
He got turned up on me real quick. You saw that? You know
Nah,
that's
cause
just trifling. You know
nah,
what? You said it. No, 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 no,
But
no, no, no. It is what it is.
bro,
You
nah,
got it.
you be doing it, but it's cool though. It's cool. We
I
but
good.
know I don't ruffle your feathers like that.
We gonna talk off camera. Don't worry.
um, as far from like just kind of piggyback with Malcolm, well, off of what Malcolm said. Honestly, for me, as far as like truthfully breaking, I just like kind of remembering the question now. There are not like for my son. There are not a lot of we don't have family secrets because
Mhm.
to be honest, you know, we're really honest with him. He's smart. So if we don't be honest, he'll figure it out
Right.
eventually without us talking about it. And he'll just end up saying it one day, and then we got the look on our face like, "Hey, you know that." But I'd rather tell him than keep it from him and he find out. 'Cause when he find out, then I gotta hear him say, "Daddy, why you didn't tell me?" And I don't think nobody understand when your child can tell you why you didn't tell him or her something.
Listen.
It's not something that you want to hear. It's not a
Yeah.
good thing. You like, wait, what?
I mean, what had happened was,
Yeah, yeah. See what had happened was I was trying to tell you, but some things happened, and then you got to sit there and explain to your 6, 7, 8 year old why such and such happened. I don't want to have time for that. So I'd rather just tell him the truth. Like
right.
I'd rather him understand the harsh reality that he's going to. I tell him all the time. You bright, but you still black, son. And that just
Mhm.
because you bright don't mean nothing. They still gonna label you and look at you differently. You still gotta overperform and do your best on everything that you do, no matter what it is, because they're gunning for you to not do that. They're gunning for you to not care. They're gunning for you to just be complacent in America where you at. You have to do more than a bare minimum because they expect you to only do the bare minimum. They expect you to scrape the bottom. Oh, Charles.
My boy.
Very necessary conversation. I believe the first step toward the healing process from those things were swept under the rug is to throw away the rug. That will expose everything beneath it.
That's true.
But
Hey,
you know what? The thing is, a
but
lot of people ain't ready for that conversation, though. They're not ready to face their truth. They're not ready to show the pettiness, the manipulation, the
Hmm.
pedophilia.
so what you're saying is they're
I
pretty
mean,
much they're not ready to exit the matrix. Is that what you're saying?
pretty
Yeah.
much.
Not
I
ready
mean,
to face reality, to get the blue pill, so to speak. I think that's what it was. That's the right pill.
The red pill.
The red pill that's what it
The
was.
blue pill was to stay in the matrix, stay in reality. Everything goes back to normal. The red pill was to go outside of reality, figure out the norm, see the actual normal, and react to it. A
Hmm.
but
lot of
I
people,
agree with Charles.
a lot
Really.
of people are not ready to take that, but a lot of people are not ready to throw that rug away, Charles. And that is a great point, and that's
Mm-mm.
something we all need to do. But a lot of people are not ready for that healing, bro. Like that's a part of the life that a lot of people are like I said, the unknown is the most terrifying place somebody could be. Throwing that rug away is the unknown. They are not going towards that.
Hmm.
That's like you being a black person walking down the street and you see a house full of pit bulls with no chains on. You know what's going on after that. You know what's about to happen the moment you walk past that house. And are you prepared for it? Probably not. But I bet you still run. But I bet you still run. Just because you in your mind, you know if I don't run and they hop this fence, that's my ass. But you don't know that's actually gonna happen. Hence the unknown. You are afraid of the bad part. You're not afraid of what if I just walk past and they leave me alone. You're
Because
more
you
worried
feel like
about
it's subconscious.
your subconscious. Your subconscious is more worried about the negative than the positive, and that's a lot. Yes, that's a lot of our problems. We're more worried about the negative reactions. I want to start this business. What if my business don't pop off? What if
I mean,
everybody don't buy my stuff?
you
I'm not
cursing
gonna start it. I'm not
yourself.
gonna start it. It's fear. It's a fear of what if. It's a lot of us that go off of what if, and we all do this a lot. And I'm not saying we all do it, but a bunch of us do it. Majority of black people do this. It's a what if thing. What if I start this and it don't work? What if I apply for this job and I don't get it? What if I don't? What if I do apply for the job and get it and I'm not, and I feel like I'm not qualified for this position? Then that's when the fear sets in, and then you back out, or you think about backing out. It's something we got to get away from. I'm not. I'm at a go. I'm not quitting. Nothing else. If I
I mean,
start,
because it's
you got
like ultimately you're damning yourself before anything. So you're speaking that bad those bad things and bad vibes up on yourself, because I've come to realize everything you do in life, it has to do with the power of belief. And if you don't believe it's gonna happen, it's not gonna happen.
Mm-hmm. True. Because of the fact is, it's like, why put that energy in the air before you even get start doing it? It's
Mm-hmm.
like going in the stocks. Or what if I don't hit big? Shut the fuck up. Why are you giving a fuck about that? That's the whole point. You know what I mean? You gotta not give a fuck. Fear is literally not in my dictionary no more in 2021. And the only reason why I say that is because of the fact that it's like, why live in fear? You're going to die whenever you're supposed to die. I'm sorry, guys. It's going to happen.
live your life, bro. I feel like
Inevitably, that's the life we made. Exactly. So
Listen,
that's the book. If that's the book that I have to read, I'm gonna read that. But based on that alone, why live in fear when you can live in what? Faith. You got to believe in yourself more than anything else. Do
ain't
I?
nothing that.
I
Ain't
don't
nothing
give.
higher power.
We didn't reach the masses with this whole podcast. So what? We obviously got somebody, two people watching. So obviously, I'm glad that somebody's watching.
Thank y'all too for watching. Please, bro.
absolutely. Can I
And
do a
please
quote
share.
right quick?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do a quote.
So in this book, and I want to backdoor and say thank you as well. It says faith is a lie that we believe. The lie isn't the lie itself isn't fear. It's merely a lie from the enemy plotted in our heads to install fear. The lies are powerless unless we believe them.
Mm, mm. Oh man.
Hey, Charles just said, if it's a word of possibility, people often
Probability.
think
Probability. Probability.
probability. I'm sorry, probability. People often think, what if it doesn't happen? When the optimist person would think, what if it does? Charles,
Mm-hmm.
another point, bro. Another great point, bro. We're gonna have to we'll talk later, bro. Oh, Kendall, the shield of faith.
Still the faith. Yup. That's another thing. So all those things that come into play that Charles and Kendall are saying,
We're
thank
gonna have to get Charles and
you
Kendall
guys
on
for
the
you actually
text,
gave
bro.
us conversations to kind of like come up off of, and that's what we're trying to do. These are the type of conversations that we have. You know what I mean?
Next episode, we might have to add Charles and Kendall in here so we can really get some insight on what they're saying. Because
Yeah.
I'm liking this, and I feel like if we add them and then they bring, Kendall can bring some of his audience, we can really make something out of
I mean,
nothing.
it's whatever. I openly
Yeah.
invite them if they want to. Kendall and
Kendall, if
Charles,
you down, come on,
if
Charles. You
you
know,
want to
come
come on
on
for a
with it.
little bit to speak your piece, or I mean, we have been going on for an hour and 17 minutes. You
Sorry,
know what I'm
y'all.
saying?
But that's cool.
So
That's love.
it depends if y'all want to, but if not, we can get y'all on the next episode next Wednesday. We can continue part 2 of this conversation because this conversation is needed.
It might
Fact.
be next Wednesday. It might be sometime during the weekend. Because to be honest, depending on y'all schedule. Because I'm down to do another podcast
Exactly. Kendall, you got my information. You know how to hit me. Charles, you too.
tomorrow.
And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
But I
So
guess we can go in closing though, because it is been an hour.
it's been an hour, and then my love, Kelsa. Thank you for being the special guest of this. I know you have a busy time, so I want you to start off your closing arguments and your final piece about this topic and any of the things that you want to speak on, and then we'll end it off with that. I mean, not end it off. We'll end it off with you and Nathan and then me. Yeah, go ahead.
Once again, I just really want to reiterate the fact that release equals healing. Regardless if you journal, if you talk to somebody like your confidant, your pastor, whoever
All
releases.
right, Kendall, I'm gonna hit you, Charles, and I'm gonna hit you, Kendall. My bad. I'm sorry. I
No,
apologize.
you're fine. Release it some way, somehow. It is okay to be emotional. It is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to walk in your truth. It is okay to speak in your truth. Everybody can't handle your truth. And don't
Mm-hmm.
let everybody see your truth.
Right.
But
That is
like I said earlier, make sure if you're feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, reach out to your local crisis lines. They're free all over the nation. Nobody know who you are, you don't know who they are. Speak your truth and hang up.
um. Hey, she killed it right there, man. Let's see. Nation, you got anything to add on to that?
Yeah, taking the chains off for a second. Okay, look. First off, black man. I just want to say this first. My first argument topic is this. Look. Oh, Kendall said, "Thank you, Kelsa. Love your insight. Release equals healing."
Thank you.
Kelsa, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on the record and on the live. I might be using your release equal healing as a shirt, as a shirt design. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
That's cool. Make sure I get one though.
Oh yeah, you gonna
Oh yeah,
get a.
you definitely gonna get one.
Look, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure me and Malcolm gonna make sure we put one aside, maybe two different colors, depending on how we do it. But my first thing, black man, open up yourself, man. So I'm not saying you gotta open up everything, open up all the locks and doors, bro. But open that emotion up and give your black lady some love, man. They really want to.
Boy,
Oh,
Damien again. What's up with you, boy?
let's go. But I'm
Wow.
sorry, Kelsey. That's our boy Damien. But
Good.
yeah, black man, open up that emotion, man. Give your woman some love. Understand where she's coming from. Walk in her shoes a little bit, especially if she's a black woman. Not knocking no other race, but I'm just saying black love is one of the coldest loves since the Alphas came out in 1906. We're not gonna talk about that. Yeah. Let's just keep moving. I just want to, I got
Everybody.
alpha, look. I got alpha friends. I love them. They ugly sometimes, AKAs too. I love y'all too. All of y'all, 1906, 1908. Y'all love Y'all love first fam. That ain't really true. But we're not gonna talk about that. No shade here. But yeah.
You know what? Y'all always gotta throw something about y'all constitutionally bound. Spell it.
It's paper, but we're not gonna talk about that. I love my sisters, but fun fact, my wife is a
I
Zeta
didn't
too.
say anything. I didn't say anything about them signing contracts. Anyway,
Fun fact, my wife is a Zeta too, so it's a blue and white family in this house. We're not gonna talk about that either. But black men, please show your women some love. Walk in their shoes a little bit. Help them more in life, and please get with your other black men and start supporting each other instead of downing each other. Forget all the black beef, man. Let's start really spreading black love, man. Black love equals black wealth. We start getting black love, more black wealth will come, and that is a fact that I stand on. Two, black women, continue to love yourself, but love your kings too. Please understand that your kings can be what you want them to be. You just have to understand that once we open that door, there's no closing. We will love you wholeheartedly. I love mine like a little puppy sometimes, and I think she hates it a little bit, but I give her all of my love and attention, no matter if she want it or not,
hmm
and that's just me. But we all can come together. We all have a lot of growing to do, but that healing will help us to grow, which will help us to connect, which will help us to get to a higher level for ourselves. And then once maybe we can get them to understand that we just want to be left alone and want to do what we can to be exact the same as they can. Yeah, Charles, you already know blue and white all day. We just stop doing that. We're trying to be partial here. But yeah, it's one time. You know. And but yeah, we finna get off of here. Malcolm.
okay. So just I probably won't talk too long because I already pretty much like talked the majority of the time. I'm pretty sure I'm the reason why it was an hour, but
Hey, it was good though. It's been
but
really
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But I'm gonna pretty much say like this: black men, just get your head out of your own ass for a change, please, because it's getting to a point to where it's like, stop acting so goddamn hard. You feel me? You not hard. You're not a bitch because you can't because you're expressing your emotions to your lady. To my black woman, like Nation said, to reiterate. Just keep loving us. Don't give up on us. We're trying. We're trying to get there. We got to come together, and there's definitely growth that will be had this year and the years to come. So therefore, on that note, I appreciate y'all for watching. Who's in there? Kendall, my boy, Damien. I hope everything is good with you, my boy. We'll tap in with you after this. And then Charles, I know you good with saying what you love out there. You did exactly. Don't have to act hard to be heard, bro. That's the whole point. You gotta understand when it comes down to shit like that, what he just said, you can be peaceful and also be heard. The Million Man March was not a million man people being aggressive trying to shoot shit. It was a million voices trying to be heard in a peaceful environment. So if we can get a million of us to march with peace and positivity, it is what it is. Hey, Kelsey, what was you trying to say? What was you
Oh,
trying
I
to
just want to share a couple of books with you.
Hey, share for the people.
This is
Share
a
for my
journal. It's called Burn After Writing. So basically, you're gonna fill this up, and you're gonna burn it after you write it. But it forces you to look at your truth without expressing it to other people, especially if you don't trust people. Um, it makes you really get down to the nitty gritty with things. So I recommend this book. It was only $5. I'll give Malcolm the details, and then if y'all want to look into it, you can. Also, this is a self care book. It's called Today I Affirm, and basically, you're writing to yourself what you can do and ways to love yourself, joy, what you need, things like that. It's also another form of therapy for people that don't want to do that.
Okay, well we're gonna look those books up. Of course, Kelsey will off the record give us the nitty gritty of the details of those books.
And I
Thank you
love
guys.
you, man.
Hey, and we love Black women and we love you. You dig what I'm saying? And in the end, that wraps it up. This is the 7th edition of the Black Journal. The podcast will be up tonight. The audio will be up on Spotify, and the live stream will also be up right now as soon as it ends. So
On
obviously, if
YouTube.
you guys want to rewatch it via live or hear us on your Spotify when you're going, to work and whatever the case may be to listen to our podcast, will be on Spotify and all of your podcast needs, whatever you need. So therefore, thank you, Kelsey, for being our special guest.
You.
Nation, we killed it again, bruh. And sayonara to you guys. Love you guys.
Sure.